Welcome back to my YouTube channel, Patricia Monna Intuitive Consulting. This month I have the lovely Susan. She has been with me for the past year. This is our 1 year anniversary of being together every month and giving you guys the deets on what's going down with the psychic remote viewing aspect of things, which I handle, and Susan handles the astrology aspect of things. And together we come and we compare notes and see how it all seems to just align. So thank you, Susan. Welcome back.
My pleasure. I love it when a plan comes together. And it's always exciting for me when I say this is what's happening and you're like, "Oh my God, that's what I see happening."
It's amazing. It totally is. And I gotta say, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming and meeting me and driving me, taking me to the Monroe Institute in Faber, Virginia. I just got back on Sunday from there, and Susan doesn't live too far, so she drove up and came to meet me, and I was able to give her a big hug in person. That was a major highlight of my trip. But yeah, hopefully we'll be able to maybe go to the Monroe Institute together sometime. You could be my roommate. That would be amazing.
Love it. This
Yeah.
is actually the first time that Patricia and I met face to face. We
Yes.
have been Zoom buddies. We're in different countries. We hadn't had a lot of in-person time. So this was like, oh my God, we're meeting in person and hugs all around. And it was so much fun. It was so much fun to get to meet you and to be there with you. And another friend of ours actually brought that together.
Yes.
And we were driving home and we were talking about what a fabulous weekend it had been. And she said, I knew, Susan, that I was supposed to be the catalyst that brought you two face to face together.
Wow.
And wasn't that
That's
a lovely thing?
amazing. 100%.
So it was just one of those times when everything flows, everything fell into place,
Yeah.
everything is fabulous. And now Patricia and I can't wait to go to the Monroe Institute together and
Uh,
take a course together. So that's in the works.
Yes, 100%. I had my mind blown. It is so much to even talk about the experiences that I had, but just know that my mind was completely blown. And any of you guys watching out there, if you haven't heard of the Monroe Institute and you're looking to have your mind blown in a spiritual, amazing way, like blown open, like literally coming out of your body and going experiencing different dimensions and you're not on drugs, go to the Monroe Institute. They are the godfathers of remote viewing. They are the ones that worked with the CIA back in, I think it was the 80s, 70s, and 80s during the Cold War. Yeah. So I learned remote viewing last week from the amazing remote viewer, Joe McMonagle,
He's
who,
like the grandfather,
yeah,
great grandfather of remote viewing. He's the top dog.
he is. He's part of the original crew that created the protocols and everything. And so to be trained by the best of the best was a bucket list trip for me, totally. And so thank you for being the beginning of my bucket list trip and meeting me and driving me and it was just amazing, amazing. So thank you, Susan.
I
And
love it. I can't wait till we do it a little bit longer instead of
yes, instead of
spot.
24 hours.
How you doing? We'll do something together at the Monroe Institute. I cannot wait. It is now on my radar.
It's amazing. Yeah, you live so close. God, I wish that place was in my backyard.
Well,
It's a
4 hours
few
of
hours away.
driving. It was a drive.
I mean,
Now
it's
my
better than
friend
a
did a lot of
17
driving.
hour, better than a 17-hour
Yeah, yeah,
flight
you
to get
definitely
home.
had the longer trip.
Yeah, yeah. But still, 4 hours is a drive. But you're close. You're very close.
We can do it. We probably wouldn't do it there and back in one day, but we can do it. It's doable. It's drivable from where I live. Yeah.
Well, I tell you, it'll shift your reality. You'll never be the same. And one of the biggest things that I think I learned last week was really, why are we taking this 3D reality so seriously? Why does humanity choose to fight and bring out the worst in each other? Why, when we can bring out the best? Because this reality, this 3D matrix, there is so much more beyond it. And when you know that there's more beyond this reality and you are so much more than we've been told, we are so much more than our physical body, you don't come back the same after what you experienced there. You just don't. Because when you're coming out of your body and you're flying through walls and you know it and you're trying to do it, it, oh my God, just it blew my mind. It blew my mind. It blew my mind. And anybody can do this. You don't need to be a psychic medium. You don't need to be a remote viewer. Just go. Just sign up and go. So,
I
yeah.
will say yesterday, three good friends and I, the four of us, decided to have game night. And the game we were playing was like it was a woo-woo game about how you ascend and how you go through the levels to get to the spiritual
Cool.
level. And it was, it's not on the market, and it's a game a friend of mine had from 20 years ago or something. So we're playing this game. And I'm telling you, accidentally, I think something about the energy of concentrating on this game opened a portal or opened a vortex or something. And suddenly, like, I was accidentally channeling guides and angels, and like they were ready to talk, and I'm like off in la la land. And I'm talking about, all I wanted to talk about was illusion. That what we see as earth is illusion. What we see is our pain, our difficulty, our stress, all illusion. That's all they wanted to talk about, is the illusion, which
Wow.
is exactly what you were just talking about
Yeah.
with the Monroe Institute.
Yeah, it's all an illusion. All of this is. And how we view the illusion is what really matters, right? Because we can view it and be the victim. That's very easy in this reality, to be a victim. Um, because there's so much victimization going on out there. It's just brutal how people treat each other. Or we can see the beauty through it and know that there's so much more to life than what we've been shown, right? But yeah, the other thing that they showed me, Susan, and this was more, so I set the intention as, because I am a psychic medium. So Robert Monroe died, I think, in 1997. So I set the intention. Okay, Mr. Monroe, come get me. Come get me. Come pull me out of my body every night. Show me. Let's go on adventures. Teach me. I'm here. I am your student. Teach me beyond the veil. Susan, he did. He did. He did. I
Love it.
distinctively remember 4 nights where he's pulling me out of my body, ready to go. Let's go, knocking on my check unit, ready to go. And what I was shown was all these different dimensions of reality. He showed me that in where we are, there's 13 dimensions to this reality that we're in right now. And I mean, we know what the first 3 dimensions are, right? Because we're living in it, and it's bound by physicality, it's bound by time and space, by gravity, all of that stuff. Here, hold on, I made notes. I was
Love
writing
it.
down, literally writing down all about the different dimensions. Like, he showed me this stuff. So, okay, so the first 3 are the lowest dimensions. That's what brings in the physical, right? Then the fourth dimension is non-locality. Non-locality and bilocation. Bilocation is the ability to see yourself sitting right here. You're in your office, I'm in my office. But the minute I say, okay, close your eyes and visualize yourself standing at your kitchen sink, you can go back in time to when you were at your kitchen sink and remember yourself standing at the kitchen sink, right? You can project your consciousness to stand in front of the kitchen sink or somewhere that right? It's easy to visualize that. That actually is bilocation, because you're here, but your consciousness is standing in the kitchen. You understand what I mean? So that's
I
conscious
understand perfectly what you mean.
by location, but you're in your body. In the fourth dimension, you're
Yeah.
still in your body. It's just your thoughts. It's your thought form. It's also beyond time and space. The fourth dimension is beyond time and space. This is where we start to go beyond time and space. It's where it's also where the astral plane is located, is in the fourth dimension. You can go backwards and forwards in time. It's a spiritual form-based dimension based on your belief systems, and it's your belief system territory, he called it, in the fourth dimension. Then the fifth dimension is where the Akashic records are. It's self-awareness. It's the God matrix, merging consciousness and energy with source, and then coming back. It's where the park or the meeting place is. And in the Gateway program, in the remote viewing program, and all the programs, they take you to that dimension in the fifth dimension where you see the park, where you can go and talk to your loved ones. You can sit on the bench and talk to your angels, but there really is an astral park in the fifth dimension. And a lot of people have talked about being in the park, like near-death experiences, that they see
Yeah.
themselves in the
I've
park.
been there, more by accident than on purpose, but I've been there.
See, so it's there. And then Um, 60, we're up to 60. 60 is parallel universes. It's the phase of space, or the set of parallel
Wait a minute.
universes.
I get, whoa, wait, back up. Can you back up a minute? Because you
Yeah,
talked about 1, 2, and 3, and
yeah.
then you talked about 4 and 5, and then you went to 60. Do you mean the
Yeah.
six?
Sixth dimension.
Okay, okay, now I'm
Sixth
with you. I'm
dimension.
with you. Okay.
Okay, that's
We're
where
in the sixth
parallel,
dimension.
yeah, sixth dimension. That's also now once you go to the fourth dimension, you're beyond time and space. So the sixth dimension is where parallel universes are. Um, this is where black holes lead to the seventh dimension. So a black hole is actually almost like a tunnel that leads to the seventh dimension. But you can only get through the seventh dimension by going within. It's all consciousness. Like your vehicle is no longer this body. Your vehicle is your consciousness, and you're working with brain waves and frequency and all that in order to get into it. So 70 is consciousness where all the six dimensions interact to give one experience of everything at a point. From this point, all other dimensions can be understood. 8D includes all other dimensions, therefore including everything, its eternity, infinity, which leads to the next life, and path to enlightenment. 888 represents Christ. 9D, this is where we get into aliens and stuff, aliens and time travel and other dimensional beings. So aliens, other planes of existence. Duality begins in the ninth dimension. Teleportation is 9D. Beyond the Earth life system. It's where shapeshifters and interdimensional travelers come from, is the ninth dimension. And then 10D, it says where strings can only vibrate in 10D. It's a dwelling place of supreme God occupied by sweetness and goodness. I copied that though off of the internet because I was like, okay, well, explain to me what 10D is. And it's a non-form dimension. So there's no form, it's literally thought form. So for example, like when you're astral traveling, or for people who hear voices when they're sleeping, or when they're astral traveling, they can feel their guides around them, but they can't see them. They can only hear them. That's because they're not in form. This is the vehicle, right? It's non-form, it's pure consciousness. And so even their communication will be telepathy, consciousness to consciousness. So that's why you can hear their voice, but you can't see their being because they're not in a being suit. They're not in a meat suit. And then 11D is also non-form dimension. 12D, it introduces a second time. I'm not sure what that meant. It's also the completion of cycles. You're fully activated, awake and aware, 12 strands of DNA, transcendence, non-form dimension. The dimensions 10, 11, and 12 are inhabited by the highest spiritual beings, newly created by God, and by those ready to merge back to source. So it's going like this with angels, spirit guides, saints, the Elohim and the angels, and only frequencies of light. So are between the 10th, 11th, and 12th. And then the 13th dimension is karmic completion. It's the birthplace of the gods, highest vibration in the known universe. And it's this divine spark of, and it's nothingness. So weird. I wrote this all down. And at dimension 13, it's a creation begins with a humming, and the humming is the word of God. It is. Because you know how in the Bible it says, in the beginning was the word, and the word was God? Yeah, because it's frequency. What is word? Frequency. Right? Vibration.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would say years ago, I lost my voice, and the doctors didn't know why. And it was, if somebody makes their living with their voice, that's a scary thing.
Yeah.
And although the doctors told me that they thought eventually I would recover the ability to speak, they couldn't tell me where or when. So one of my friends is a very gifted vocalist. And he said, Susan, hum. He said, start to hum. He said, when you hum, it is one of the strongest, most powerful and healing things you can do for voice, for vibration, for the whole being.
So smart.
And so sometimes when I start to meditate, I will start to hum before I meditate. It will permeate everything. Sometimes you can actually see like a wave going out of energy into your room or through your body or whatever. People think it's annoying to keep humming. Humming is actually a really profound frequency and
Yeah,
vibration.
I totally agree with you. Well, think of the chanting monks and think of when we chant Om, right?
And
How
we have that
blissful
hum
that
at the
feels.
end. That's why.
Yeah. So in the beginning, the word of God was a hum. It was a frequency. It was a hum. Dimension 12, that's where the Big Bang was created from the word of God, from the humming, when the bubble of the universe is born. Dimension 11, I saw bubbles in there. Dimension 10, strings of the newborn universe multiply like viruses and bacteria. Production of loosh begins when sentient beings anywhere in the universe is created. So loosh is a non-form substance flowing to God that is created by the emotions and experiences of all sentient loving beings. So there's something about loosh in the 10th dimension, or energy, that is being created and then sent back. So and I thought about that because I know I've heard of the word loosh before, and from what I understood, it wasn't good. Like how evil spirits feed off of the loosh of people because fear is a loosh. Anything that makes your body go poof. If you could see that poof, you'd see loosh in your field. But the way I'm understanding it, it's we may view it as bad because that's the way it's been perceived, but it's actually not. Even prayer is a form of loosh. It's the energy that's coming off of us. That's what's actually considered loosh, good or bad. It's just the energy that's coming off of us and moving back to source. So I thought that was really interesting. So there's my notes from the Monroe Institute where I went. And yeah, I learned about the multiple layers of consciousness, um, the multiple dimensions in the universe. It was mind blowing what I got from that place, Susan. So I just,
I
yeah,
love
I,
this.
I know we got to
Like I
get
said,
on to the March predictions.
but this is what you're doing, and this is what the podcast is about. It's about this, it's Patricia's life. It's what she's doing, what she's working on, what she's seeing, perceiving, understanding. You keep growing and learning. And as you keep growing and learning, you keep sharing it with
Get
everybody else.
excited about sharing what I've learned.
Yes.
It's like, wow, this stuff is really cool. Now things are making sense, you know? So, but I think that this stuff was shown to me at this time for a reason, and let me explain that. Today, as we're recording this, it's February 29th. It is the leap year. We get one of these every 4 years, right? And the energy of this year feels very different. It it definitely doesn't feel like the last 4 years, and it feels like there is opportunities of expansion all over this year, but we have to get out of our fear in order to seize those opportunities, right? Well, the leap year, one of the things when I was meditating, um, Robert said was, there's no coincidence that you're here on the leap year. There's no coincidence, right? And on April, I think it's April 8th, there's that big cross that happens right,
Cardinal Grand Cross.
yeah, right around Texas. And but the craziest thing is that all the names of the towns that are on that, have you seen that, the meme where it shows all the names of the towns? Maybe I have it. Well, it shows that they're all biblical names. And
Wow.
let me just see, I think I saved the picture. No, of course I didn't. Darn it.
Wow.
I saw it on Facebook anyways. All the names that the eclipse is going through, it says Nevea, like heaven backwards, and then it says Salem, and then the Ark. It's all these biblical names that are right on that X. And I still remember where I was. I was actually at the Monroe Institute in Canada
Wow.
in 2017 when the eclipse first
That
came.
big eclipse.
Yeah, yeah. And what's interesting is that they say that from the 2017 eclipse to this one, it's exactly 6 years, 6 months, 6 hours, and 6 minutes. Yeah, 666.
We are moving into accelerated energy. We are moving into accelerated opportunities, and we are moving into accelerated growth. And for some people, that's a little scary. I find it very exciting, especially as last year felt so stuck. There were so many earth energies. People couldn't do what they wanted to do. Things weren't moving. And now this year, it's like it all starts to open up. You know,
Yeah.
it starts to move maybe a little faster. We're like, okay, let me get on board here, you know, but it's moving. Like finally we get to get on this train that's a going. And it's exciting. It's sort of like, I don't know where it's going to take us. Just like at the Monroe Institute, you had experiences that are like, okay, I'm wide open. Show me, tell me, teach me,
And they do.
you know, take me where I need to go.
Hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, that's why and I was just telling Patricia a minute ago, Tuesday, March 5th, I'm doing a 1 hour talk on, and I call it March, April, and May, oh my, because these 3 months coming up, they're going to be the most exciting, the most volatile, the most powerful that we're going to see all year. Now, notice I didn't say frightening or bad. You know,
It doesn't feel
volatile
that.
does not mean negative. It just means unstable. It just means exciting, moving, things going on. Sometimes it's like having a tiger by the tail, you know, okay, now what, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to this. This looks exciting to me.
Yeah.
So I want other people to see this as exciting as well. You
Yes.
know, all this stuff that you learned at the Monroe Institute, I have a feeling, Patricia, it's going to accelerate for you in March, April, and May, because all these astrological energies are going to push what you've been shown and connected with to higher levels. So I think you're going to have more and more to talk about, more and more of those, oh shit, did that really happen kind of moments in
And I've
March,
had a few
April,
of
and
those
May.
lately. Yeah,
And that'll be fun.
I agree. Remember, we were talking about those months for a while now, and we're finally here. We're here, guys. We're finally hitting March. We can go, we made it. Because out of from I would say about September of last year, there was a cloud or a heaviness on the calendar from about September, October, November, December, January, February. I could feel that. I could see it. People were drained of color. They were looking quite gray, but it I could feel the March, April, May. It's an exciting time. I totally agree with you. It's exciting, it's vibrant, it's moving, it's let's go. Let's go. Let's do this. No time to sit and play small or be stagnant or second guess what you need to be doing. It's time to go, 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 do, do, do.
Because we all know that phrase, as above, so below.
Mm.
As we have all these exciting astrological events happening, we're going to see them play out in our governments. We're going to see them play out internationally in the world. We're going to see them play out in the economy. But as above, so below, we're also going to see them play out in our own personal lives.
Mhm.
And many times we have more power over using these energies on a personal level than we ever do on the national or international level.
Yeah.
You know, so it becomes even more exciting for us because once we know what's going on, we can own that energy a little bit more. It's like I was reading once about Jesse Owens, the famous athlete who competed in the Olympics and he broke the records. And somebody was saying once a record is broken, it keeps getting broken more and more after that. It's like they reach a certain level, they break through something, and then other people start to rush through. And those energies, now it gets broken all the time until it moves over to the next plateau. This is what we're doing, I think. We're starting to break through things that have held us back, things that we hadn't been able to do. And that's a powerful thing on the personal level. I'm
Mm.
also going to say the big news in March, there's a lot of stuff going on in March, but the big news is the eclipse because we're having a full moon lunar eclipse on March 25th. And
Oh,
that's going to be in Libra and it's going to be at 5 degrees Libra. We get a full moon when the sun and the moon are opposite each other.
yeah.
And that's why the moon looks so beautiful and big. It's because it's illuminated by the light of the sun. It's shining that light on there going like this. But full moons are all about conflict because they're on two different sides, like two boxers in the ring.
Yeah.
And so when we have that full moon lunar eclipse, we have our outer self, the sun, trying to do one thing, and the moon, our inner self of security, trying to do something else. And so it gives us an opportunity to release and make peace, especially as this eclipse is going to be in Libra. Libra is all about relationships. It's all about partnerships. So the first thing I think of, I don't know if you guys are like this, but when I think of partnerships, I think of spouse. Who do we love? Our boyfriends, our girlfriends, our husband, our wife, our significant other, whoever that is. So yes, there's going to be some things going on in terms of people's loves lives in March. I don't know how to say that any other way, but that doesn't mean it's bad things. This Libra moon and this eclipses tend to reveal things which have been hidden. And lots of times, what it reveals is something about ourselves. What do we really want in a partner? What works for us? One of my clients who's been married for 30, 35 years has just recently left her spouse. And she said, I just realized I hadn't been happy for years. And I just kept ignoring it. And it got to a point, she said, I can't ignore it anymore. Yeah. She's having to look at that. So she's finding new freedom that she was too scared to look at before. Libra is about how we partner with others. It's not just about our romantic life. So there are going to be issues about who do we partner with. This can be our family. This could be our friends. This could be our businesses. Do we have a business partner? Has somebody asked us to partner with them and we have a choice? Oh my goodness, I have this new job opportunity. You know, I know when you asked me to be on your show, I didn't have to question. It was like, I knew this was right. You know, I just felt that click, like this is right. So that was a partnership that just, I didn't have to meditate on and ask for guidance. I just knew. But we may be looking in March as, what direction do I take? Is this right? Is this the right partnership for me? So I love the fact that we're not taking those things for granted. We're looking at what feeds us, what brings us harmony and peace. What are we just tolerating because we don't want to make the change? And we do that. We do that all the time, don't we? We all do it.
100% we do. You just triggered something that I wanted to say. Sorry, I totally didn't mean to cut you off. But the other thing that Spirit showed me is that we really are, this isn't conspiracy theory, this isn't woo-woo stuff. There really is a dimensional time shift that's happening right now, a time split, where people who are still walking in the old way of life, you can really see it now, and the people who have their eyes wide open and are looking within and realizing that the keys to the kingdom actually are within you. The only way to get out of this bloody realm is to go within. It really is. It changes things. It changes, you go quantum. You learn things that it's just mind-blowing when you have that kind of connection, right? You learn at an accelerated rate. It's literally like you can download stuff like that. And so they showed me that it literally is splitting off even more so. And after that big, the eclipses in end of March and April, because I know we've got the sun one on
another eclipse in April. Yeah. A lunar eclipse in March, a solar eclipse in April.
That's huge.
Eclipses always occur in pairs. You're never going to have one without the other.
There's a reason why it's happening, where it's happening, when it's happening, all of that. There are signs in all of it, all of it. And if we know how to decode what the universe is saying to us, we can be prepared for what's coming up.
Yes.
So
I'm also going to say this eclipse is happening at 5 degrees Libra. So if you know anything about your chart and you have any planets that are 5 degrees or near 5 degrees, I'd give it 3 or 4 degrees on either side of that, it's going to trigger that. Now, trigger isn't a bad word. It's going to wake that up. And we're going to start to look at that. So I will tell you, I have a planet in Libra, and it is in my area. It's a third house, which is often an area of information, communication. And another friend and I, who is in the Mind Body Spirit community, we were talking about the fact we want to go deeper into esoteric wisdom and the ancient wisdom teachings. And there's not a lot out there. Most of the stuff out there is very surface. So we decided to start offering our own. So we're offering our own ancient wisdom teachings, which I wanted to do for years, but have never really been able to do. Hello, eclipse. We're starting this on March 21st. The eclipse is on the 25th.
Nice.
Did it, and I didn't even realize the timing until I
Oh,
was putting this down on my calendar. Like, oh my God, this is all happening because this eclipse.
isn't the solstice on the 21st of March as well? Yeah,
We
we
have
have a
a
lot going on in
very
March.
busy March.
Oh my
Of course,
God, do we ever?
we
And
have the sun
what?
changing.
She showed
Right.
me. I remember a couple months ago I mentioned that I think it was the January show that we did together where I mentioned I said there is really 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 strong juicy energy on the solstices and
Mhm.
that's what we need to be using. So it's really cool that you're launching on the solstice. I love that.
I'll tell you something else. Now, this is more for the United States and for Canada, but on March 25th is when the criminal trial for Donald Trump begins. It literally begins on the eclipse. So I'm going to look for something weird to happen with that.
Yeah,
But it's not going to bother me because eclipses, and I refer to them like this all the time, as astrological wormholes.
yes.
Because eclipses take us from one reality to another reality in the blink of an eye, very quickly. And so things are revealed under an eclipse.
Yeah.
You know, eclipses in ancient times were looked at as portents of doom
Mm,
for those in power, for kings and queens and emperors.
yeah.
Nowadays, yes, we still have kings and queens in the world, but we have presidents and premiers and prime ministers. We have people of power that are the multi-billionaires of the world and the country. So that eclipse energy is not limited to those with royalty part of their name. It's going to have a big effect on those who have power. So we may see some big headlines happening this month as we get closer and closer to the solstice eclipse, to this energy.
Yeah.
And we may see different people make different kinds of announcements. We may see some surprising marriage announcements and some surprising divorce announcements because that Libra energy,
Yeah.
it is about what's working, what's not working. And so we're the blinders are off, so to speak, and we're looking at that differently. Libra is also, I know it's about love and romance and partnership, but it's also about justice. A lot of
Ah,
lawyers have strong Libra energy. The symbol for Libra, the scales
yes,
going up and down, scales of justice.
yes.
Lots of lawyers have strong Libra energy, that sense of justice. It's not about vengeance, it's not about punishment, it's about that fairness. Let's weigh this on the scale. So we're going to want things that are fair, things that are justice for ourselves, for other people. So we're going to see, and I think we're going to start seeing this all month, like literally tomorrow, starting March 1st. I think we're going to start seeing this, but it's going to start to amp up more and more the closer we get to the 21st through the 25th. Remember, full moons technically start to have their influence felt on us 3 days before, up to 2 or 3 days afterwards. So it's really about a 5 day period.
Mm.
Do not think just because nothing happens to happen to you on the 25th that it's like, oh, this is a boring day. Nothing happened. This stupid eclipse did nothing. You know, the energy of the eclipse is often felt 6 months later.
Oh, no way. Why?
I'm not going to go into the technological astrological explanation. I'm just going to say that's how the energy plays out. Remember
Oh,
how I said eclipses always happen in pairs? You have the solar, you have the lunar. So
yeah.
it's almost like you have one, 6 months later, you have the other because of the way the planets move, kind of thing. So you have sort of like the follow up. What did you do during March and the lunar eclipse? How did that play out for you? So we'll see the results of this at what, end of September, beginning of October, something
Yeah,
like that. So
yeah.
you're going to start to see what kind of decisions did you make now that you're dealing with the results of in the fall. So
Interesting.
that's a big deal. We don't always see it immediately, but we're going to see it. And think about this. This eclipse is at 5 degrees. If you have anything at 5 degrees, yes, it's going to be activated. But think about other planets that are coming in later on that may hit that 5 degrees. You know, in May, Jupiter is going to leave the sign of Taurus, it's going to enter the sign of Gemini. And in June, it's going to hit 5 degrees and it's going to reactivate that 5 degree point in Libra. So we may see some results in June of things in your chart that's happening now. The signs that are going to react most beneficially or easily with this are going to be other air signs. You know, Gemini, that's an air sign. They're going to see this, and more power to them, because Gemini's had a kind of shitty 2023. So I'm really glad that they get a nice 2024, and that this eclipse could really bring them a new reality and a better reality. And think of Aquarius, because Aquarius is another air sign. So all the air signs tend to work well together. So this eclipse is going to activate that for them. The other cardinal signs may use this energy in a different way. Cardinal signs are Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. And so they may be using this eclipse in Libra in a way of leadership. Maybe some changes in how they put themselves forward. Maybe some changes in how they present themselves or the job they're going to do. These are big changes. They may not all finish in March, but we're going to start to see the beginnings of them. We're going to start to see these things changing. Now, one of the things I like the most is that this month in March, we have Mercury and Neptune meeting up. And Neptune is the woo-woo planet. It's the planet of dreams. It's the planet of past lives. It's the planet that takes us out of ourselves into other dimensions. It's the planet in which we seek spirit. We seek the divine. We seek something more than this three-dimensional life. And so it's sometimes hard to get a hold of Neptune. Neptune rules fog, and Neptune rules illusion. The illusion that this life is real. That's Neptune. And so this month in March, we have Mercury, which is our mind, our thoughts, coming together with Neptune. Now, specifically, I think it is exact and comes exactly together on March 9th, which is, what,
Interesting.
next week. But even before it becomes exact, as it starts moving closer and closer and closer, we start becoming more psychic. We start becoming more intuitive. So pay attention to those hunches, those gut level feelings.
For
The
sure.
things is, I have a feeling this is going to work, or I have a feeling that's what I need to do. You're going to be spot on,
Yeah.
because our mind is coming together with our spirit. And that's a powerful energy. So this month is full of powerful energies.
It
You
is.
know,
It is.
we
And
just have to be open to them.
yeah, totally. And it feels good to me, which is weird because March has always kicked my butt every year. I don't know why, but when anything, negative happens or big happens, it seems to happen in March or October for me for some reason. But no, I'm excited because it does. It feels like we're allowed out of our cages now. That's the energy I get out of it almost.
I
Even though
love
we're
that.
not in a cage anymore, that was 2 years ago. It does. It feels like, oh, I'm out of an energetic cage. Now I can breathe. And so I wonder how many other people will feel like that this month. And
I'm going to guess quite a few,
you know,
because we also have Mars, which is a planet of action and force and assertiveness and courage and,
war. Isn't
and
Mars war
war
too?
and war.
Mhm.
That's a higher level of assertiveness. That's a little too assertive. We go to war with somebody. But that Mars is going to be in conflict with Uranus. So Uranus is what is sudden, unusual, revolutionary, abrupt. Uranus takes us by surprise. Uranus doesn't want to do things the way we've always been done. So you get this planet of force and action coming together with this planet of what is unusual and sudden, kaboom.
When is that?
So I'm sorry?
When is that? When is that
It's
conjunction?
on, I think it's on March 9th as well as the Neptune Mercury coming together. Let me just double check. Yep, March 9th.
And then March 8th is the lunar, you said? No.
No, March
What's March
25th.
8th? What's March 8th? March 8th keeps coming big into my head.
Now, I don't know of anything
8th?
specific on March 8th. We have a lot of things happening on March 9th. And so it may be that people start tuning into that energy on the 8th. It maybe that's when it starts showing up
Okay.
because the actual astrological date it's going to happen is not always the date we start to feel it.
Yeah, that's
What I tell clients all the time is the people who are listening to you, the people that are coming to us for readings, they're sensitive,
true.
they're aware, they're questioning. They're going to pick up this energy earlier than the exact date.
Yeah.
And so I'm talking to my client, like, well, this planet's going to change in June, but you might start to feel the energies in May or even as early as April.
Wow.
So we tend to pull those energies in a bit earlier, maybe than the general public. So
Yeah.
I always try to give people like a heads up. I'm going to say around a few days before March 9th, be careful in the car. This is not where you want to speed. You want to make sure you come to a complete stop at the stop sign, that you obey the speed laws, because I'm going to tell you the police are going to be out and you do not want to get a ticket. This is what astrology is good for. It says, don't step there. Here's how you avoid that. So this is where you're going to be a little bit more careful in the car, but you may also make sudden decisions. They
Okay.
may appear sudden, but you've really been thinking about them for a long time. And this Mars Uranus comes together and you go, I'm doing it. I'm doing that. I'm moving to Australia. I'm quitting my job. I'm starting my own business. It
Yeah.
may look sudden to other people, but you know you've been thinking about it for a while. So this can be like setting a spark to something,
Yeah.
you know.
It feels like
You
it.
know,
Yes,
it's
Susan.
bold. It's
Totally.
bold and it's forceful.
Yeah.
You know, there's some Aries energy. Most of the month is going to be Pisces, but the very end, the last week of March, it's moving into Aries energy. And Aries energy is forceful. It's got this Duke stuff. Don't mess with me. Like, you talking to me? You know, because I'll take you out, you know.
Yeah.
So, but I love the March energies of Pisces, because Pisces is about compassion and love and seeking something more than this three-dimensional life. It is where we seek because we know there's something more. We're hungry to connect with higher energies.
And you said
So
that's coming in at the end of the month? That Pisces energy is towards
the Pisces energy is here now.
now? Okay.
Pisces
Because
energy is here now. It's not till about the 21st of March that the Aries energy starts to come in. So
okay.
the Aries energy starts to come in that last week of the month, but the first 3 weeks are all Pisces.
Pisces. And that's the compassion energy, right?
That's the
Okay.
compassion.
The
So
reason why
what's
I'm asking
that?
is I really truly feel like something spiritually is going to open up or happen. I don't expect, you know, horsemen in the sky or anything like that, but I can feel it. There's a mounting feeling up until this eclipse. And it just, I can feel it. I can feel it. And it literally feels like we're going to have the choice. What timeline do you want to be on? What God do you want to be serving? Do you want to be serving the AI God or the true, authentic, pure, unconditional love one? You know, it just feels like, okay, which reality do you want to step into? And for some reason, it's right around that eclipse time. So what's the energy of what's coming in right around the eclipse? Is that still Aries energy?
Well, that's the 25th. So yes, we're going to have the sun in Aries, the moon is in Libra. We have to make our choices about ourselves versus other people. And because
Okay.
of the influences of Pisces, Pisces is a beautiful sign of love and compassion, but Pisces is also very self-sacrificing,
Mm.
sometimes too self-sacrificing. And if you know a Pisces or are a Pisces, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, somebody once told me the definition of stress is saying, well, yes, I'd be happy to. While your mind is screaming, no, no, for the love of God, no.
Isn't that the
And
truth?
Pisces knows exactly what I'm talking about because they say yes when they want to say no, and they struggle with boundaries. So they can be very self-sacrificing. They can move into martyrhood, which is the more shadowy side of Pisces. But they also have that beautiful spirit, that connection that lifts them up into knowing there's something more than us.
Yeah.
And so we start out with that. And the sun is going to be right next to Neptune because the sun is in Pisces and Neptune is in Pisces.
Okay.
So let me tell you, this is a love and light, woo woo kind
Oh,
of month.
good. Because
Like,
that's
buckle
it
up.
does. It feels good. It feels good. That's why I say it doesn't feel like apocalyptic energy. It feels like,
No,
oh, here comes in the light. Let's all meditate. Let's bring in that love and set some intentions for this planet because this planet's in a lot of trouble. It really is. And if we don't get our act together and figure things out, it's not good. What kind of a place are we leaving for our grandchildren and great great grandchildren, but it's I just think that the change that's coming is something that we are all accountable for. Like each and every one of us, we can exude it. It's an energy, it's a frequency. I think so.
so never think that your kindness, that your prayers don't make a difference. Every single prayer makes a difference. When I am driving somewhere and I see an ambulance on the side of the road because of a car accident, I say a prayer for those people. You know, when I see a police officer with their blue light going, pulling somebody over, and I think they're going to get a ticket, I say a prayer for both of those people. It may take a few moments and seem like a minor thing, but think about all the prayers that you offer for other people. The combined weight of that changes the world.
I,
And so don't ever think that prayer is insignificant. I know we pray for world peace and we see violence happening. We pray for an end to world hunger, and we don't see those things happening. Don't think nothing is happening just because we don't see the results we're looking for.
yeah,
It is happening. And March is a month when we may be more aware of the power of our prayer. It's not a small, weak thing. It's
yeah.
a big thing, a powerful force in this world.
I totally agree with you. Totally. And I think it is time for people to learn to connect and pray and to go within, more so than ever. I think that, we talked, I remember in 2020 people talking about ascension and the new earth and all this stuff and 3D and 5D and all this. And it confused me, so I started asking questions, and my spirit guides explained to me what the difference is and how there is time is a perception. Time isn't real to begin with. It's a perception. It's a unit of measurement, that we use in order to describe the time it took to get from A to B. Right? It's a measurement. But really, in the new earth, there is no such thing as time. It's all the here and now. And I think the more people that learn to live in the here and now, that's where the beauty is. It's when we get stuck in yesterday's pain or worried about tomorrow's crap. That's when we're living outside of the moment that can bring us the peace that we're looking for and that we so readily need. But I think a lot of people are waking up. I really do. Like I was saying last night, I had a guided singing bowl meditation that I did last night. And I looked around the class and I'd say like 95% of the people in there were brand new. And I went, whoa, this is amazing because it just goes to show that the world is shifting. More people are waking up and coming in and going, okay, well, what is this? And how do I connect with it? And I just think, yeah, I just think it's a beautiful thing. And it's the time where you and I, thrive the most because I can't wait to share my knowledge with people. And I know you can't either because when you love what you do, it's easy. It's all we talk about.
Wonderful. The world is catching up to us. Finally, the world is catching
Yes.
up to us.
Amen, sister. Amen.
Yeah.
Totally.
And I don't know if you follow the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, but he looks at a lot of the mind, body, spirit concepts and manifestation, changing our reality, and he looks at it from a science-based point of view. And science is explaining this. And if you look at quantum science and quantum physics, that's as woo-woo as it gets, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so somebody was telling me about that. I'm like, yeah, I was there 20 years ago. I'm glad science is catching up.
And it's about time. It is.
It's
It
about
is.
time.
Yeah.
I'm also going to say in the month of March, as we're making these choices between me and somebody else, and what do I need and how much do I give to somebody else, Venus is also going to be in Pisces. Now, that's very loving. Venus is love and romantic, and Pisces is all, like, oh, here's the most romantic thing in the world. It's beautiful. It's love on top of love. But Pisces also rules illusion.
Oh,
So I'm going to say, if you're dating somebody new, and this is what I tell my clients, if they have Venus and Pisces, don't lend them money.
yes.
Don't let them move in with you after 2 dates.
Yeah.
Remember
Absolutely.
what I said about Pisces is not good about boundaries. You don't meet somebody going, oh, they're so handsome. We're so in love. Of course you can live with me. No.
Yeah. Here's my bank card.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Good point.
So
Really, really good point.
to get the most out of this, you have to keep your feet on the ground
Yeah.
because believe me, your head's going to be in the clouds anyway. You don't have to worry about that part. We're going to be up here in woo woo land, because
Yeah.
Patricia is talking about this. Like, where are my car keys? What are we supposed to meet today? We're just already over here in woo woo land.
Oh, it's terrible, but I love it. I wouldn't want to be stuck in this 3D reality any longer than I need to be. Like I said, it's time to not take it so seriously and to see it for what it is, and to quit being so hard on ourselves. That's the one thing that humanity is brutal for. We beat the crap out of ourselves, with the decisions that we make or whatnot. Why live in regret? Why live in regret? We can't change anything. It doesn't move anything for us or fix anything, right? So find the peace in the now and get out of regret, because March is a great month to clear that stuff. It really is. It'll happen on a very fast level if you're ready to let go. I can feel that energy of cleansing coming in, you know. And so I know I've mentioned it before, but my best way that I cleanse is I'll make myself a nice hot bath, get a cup of Himalayan salt and a whole box of that, the little box of Arm& Hammer baking soda, the orange boxes, dump the whole thing in the tub, get in there and detox for 20 to 30 minutes. And make sure you get your hair in there, because hair is porous, and a bad mood and bad energy will cling to your hair even. And that's why you have a bad hair day the next day if you don't wash it. So get your hair in there as well and just purify your energy, because it's time to get real. It's time to actually understand the mission, because we're on a mission. And Robert Monroe kept saying that. He's like, we're on a mission. You're on a mission. You're on a mission. Kept saying, we got to complete the mission. And when you wake up and when you start to remember why you're here, it changes things. It really does. But you can't gain that access unless you take the time to meditate and go within, because the keys of the kingdom really are inside, you know. And I wanted to mention, because I know you had mentioned that you just bought a CD from the Monroe Institute,
Mhm.
and they have an amazing app called the Expand app. I'll show it to you really quick in case you're interested. It's this guy here, the Expand app. Oh, can you see it? Expand.
I can see it.
And they have amazing meditations, um, for outer body experiences, for different focus levels. If you want to go to Dimension 9 or Focus 27, like it's amazing. There's a science behind everything that they do. I've been listening to one of their meditations at night before I go to sleep, and just flying out of my body the minute I close my eyes. It's amazing. So definitely get the app if you can.
Meditating before bed, that's one of the best things you can do to
Totally.
relax your body and to move you into sleep, which is by itself an altered state of consciousness.
Yeah.
And so people are asking all the time, well, if I fall asleep when I start meditating, am I missing it? No, you're just experiencing it on a different level.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. 100%. Yeah, your
And so,
subconscious.
yeah, I would absolutely do that. I use apple cider vinegar, where you use the Himalayan sea salt and the baking soda. I will often take a bath and pour some apple cider vinegar in it, because it cuts through the R and clears and cleanses the R very quickly. And so
Oh,
lots of times I'm around people in fairs and expos and lots of people coming at me. And, I'm dealing with people all day. By the end of the day, I'm like, I can almost feel bits and pieces of people attached to my energy field. I'm
Yes.
like, okay, I need a bath before I can do anything else.
So how much apple cider vinegar do you put in there?
About a cup,
Okay.
few glugs, about a cup in the
Okay.
bath water. You know, sometimes, I mean, I take a shower to get clean,
Yes.
but I take a bath to clear and cleanse and
Yeah.
re-energize. I have a couple of Kabbalah crystals, which are the most beautiful crystals. Have I ever shown them to you?
Oh,
Hang
no.
on one second, they're right here.
Nice.
Think about this. But I love these Kabbalah crystals because they have such a powerful, powerful energy. Can you see?
Oh, that's a
It's
Vogel.
This is a Marcel Vogel
Yeah,
Marcel Vogel cut tree of life crystal.
it's beautiful.
Isn't that gorgeous?
I
This
can
is a
feel the
gift.
energy coming off of it when you hold it up. That is
And
gorgeous.
so
Do you put that in the bath
sometimes
with you?
I will put this in the bath with me. Now,
Oh,
don't do this at night because it will energize you so much you will not sleep the rest of the
you
night. I
just
can
gave
tell you
me a
that right
brilliant
now.
idea. Susan, you just gave me a brilliant idea. I don't know why I didn't think of this before. Thank you for this. Thank you. A light bulb moment. I'm going to charge my crystals on my Rife machine and put them in the bath with me
That's
because
fabulous.
water is programmable and so is crystals. Literally have a
Mhm.
healing bath. Oh my God.
Sometimes I'll put smoky quartz in my bath as another way of kind of absorbing.
I'll charge
Patricia and
someone.
I, we're ready to go into the unknown. We're
Oh,
ready
I
to
love
do
it.
it and try it.
Oh, I love it. Thank you for that. That was like ding, ding, ding. The second you showed me the crystal, I was like, oh, I could
I
charge
cannot
those
wait
on
to
my Rife
hear how
machine.
that works. Next month when we get together, I want to hear about how the Rife machine works with the crystal. I
Yes,
would
yes,
love
yes.
to do that.
Well, I'll charge some and send you some. Like I'll charge them up on my machine and then just and send you some. And then you could be my guinea pig too.
Yes.
That
Yes.
would be
Let's do it and compare. I love that.
yeah, totally, totally, totally. We will be doing that.
Who
And
knew this
anybody
was
else
where
out
this
there?
was going to go today?
Yeah, I know, right? We're all over the place, but I love it. I love it. And I know you guys get my ADD, so I know you don't mind us being all over the place.
We
Oh my
go where
goodness.
the energy takes us.
Yeah, exactly.
And you do that
100%.
with your clients. I do that with my clients because they get a better session with us when we just let it happen without trying to control it.
I don't like scripted crap. I
Yeah.
like off the cuff stuff. I have actually one of my charged stickers here, right here. For anybody who doesn't know, these little RDIF stickers that you can program for anti-theft, you can program them with healing. And so what I've been doing is, boop, I can put this on the back of my jewelry. I can put it on a band-aid and wear it on my pulse points or on my belly, like underneath the belly button. That's another place. But yeah, you just stick it on the inside of a band-aid and then you got healing frequencies going into you all day. I've been experimenting. So
Now, I'm going to say
some stickers.
you gave both my friends and I that bracelet
Yeah,
that,
that's amazing.
when we met for the first time, Patricia gave me this beautiful little bag of gifts, and there was a little bracelet. And usually I don't wear those kinds of bracelets, but I have loved that bracelet. For some reason, I found myself putting that bracelet on all the time.
Oh, I'm
And I knew
so
said it was good for grounding. And I'm like, oh my God, I must be up here out of my body half the time because I'm reaching for this bracelet all the time. I to help ground myself.
and it's
It
got
is
it's,
the
I
best
rife
energy.
those. I rife those too, eh? I put all everything I make. I put on my rife machine first, including my jewelry, and then I put them under my pyramid to get that blessing in there. And I only make my bracelets when I'm in a state of prayer. I have to be in the highest, most peaceful mood in order to do it because that's the energy that I want to go into it. So I literally pray over every bead as I'm making them. Just I want a person to feel that energy when they wear it. I think that
You
jewelry should be made with intention and purpose, not just, I don't buy just unintentional jewelry anymore, if that makes sense.
know what? I've taken it off when I get home Like I wear it when I'm out in the world, and then I get home
For
and I take
protection and grounding, yeah.
I may wear that at night tonight because I've been having some trouble sleeping. I may see if that helps me with sleep tonight.
See if it does. Let me know.
I
Let
didn't
me
think about
know.
that. That just came to me as we were talking. That might help you sleep, Susan. We'll see what
In
happens. I'll put it on tonight.
insomnia actually is one of the frequencies that I put into my crystals and my jewelry and my oils and stuff because I know a lot of people who suffer from that. So yeah, try it and see how.
Okay. Wow. We learned a lot more today than I think anybody else learned.
I know. I can't wait to do this. I'm gonna have a bath tonight. I charge of my crystals and do that. What a great idea. So for anybody else who's got a Rife machine out there, there's an idea for you. And probably the best crystal to use is actually clear quartz or diamonds, but I'm sure that would be very expensive. You know why they say diamonds are a girl's diamonds last forever? They're a woman's best friend, girl's best friend, or whatever, but they last forever. Diamonds are forever, is because when you actually imprint on a diamond, that imprint will be there forever, forever. It's encoded into it. And so diamonds are really easy. Diamonds and gold are a really easy thing for people who do psychometry, who read off of objects. A diamond ring or a diamond bracelet or something is pretty easy to read because the imprint is in the diamonds. But clear quartz holds an imprint really, really well. So yeah, I'll try it with clear quartz for sure. Well, what else for March? Was there anything else that we needed to say?
Oh my goodness, we've got so much going on. We've got the sun that's going to be in Pisces. We've got Neptune in Pisces. We've also got Mars in Pisces. Now, I'm going to say Mars doesn't particularly like being in Pisces because Mars is forceful and angry and fighting and Pisces is love and light, peace on earth, so the two don't go well together. So be aware. You may, instead of being obviously angry or sharing you made me angry about this, I don't like this, you may deal more with passive aggressive situations.
Mm,
Instead of the anger coming out openly, it comes out sideways or underneath.
yeah.
And this may be something you're doing, or it may be something that comes towards you from somebody else. Are you okay with this? Oh, yeah, no problems at all. But underneath, there's that passive aggressive stuff. Yeah, Mars doesn't like having to hide their anger. So it's not always that happy in Pisces. On
Mhm.
the other hand, remember in astrology, there's nothing that's ever all good or all bad. And so you can take that force and passion of Pisces and use it to work on something spiritual.
Yes.
This is where you can work on writing your book, on creating new jewelry, on using apps for new kinds of meditation. This can be where you have the energy to turn within for spiritual concepts. You may not have a lot of physical energy, so you
Yeah.
may need a nap, but you have a lot of spiritual energy. You may want to meditate and talk to your guides more, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, like yesterday, when I told you my friends were playing that sort of mind, body, spirit game,
Yeah.
we're doing something active. We're playing a game together, but it's all woo woo. We're going up to the next level.
Yeah. But
So
that,
how
like
do
I
you
said,
bring this together?
that kind of feels like that timeline shift thing where here's the old Earth and here's the new Earth. We have choices, on which direction that we want to be taking. March, April, May feels like that to me.
There's a lot that's going on. That's why I think we're going to see a lot of announcements from governments and from well-known individuals. This is happening, that's happening. Some of this may be around relationships, but a lot of it may be around other things, like a big trial for Trump, or maybe there's a difference in the Justice Department in Canada, or maybe some of the laws are changing because that's about justice. What?
Speaking of justice and laws, I pray this hit is right. If there's any prediction that I really pray is right, I pray it's this one because I remember about a year and a half ago, it just came to me. Trudeau's out with his tail between his legs by
I agree with you
June,
100%.
end of June. in this year.
Oh,
So I wonder what's coming up because he's getting nailed again, and the RCMP are actually now looking into him on a criminal investigation. So it's like, okay, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat, going, "Ooh,
justice and
justice."
romance and relationships.
Oh,
So I remember when I did my predictions in January, I said Trudeau would be out, but I think sometime in 25, but you're picking it up even earlier, you know,
2024.
that it may be this year in 24.
It is. I pray that justice comes to the surface. I really, really do.
So we may see a lot of things going on in the news. And when you see these things happening in the news, you're like, I knew that. Patricia and Susan talked to me about that. I knew that was
I
coming.
saw that coming.
You'll just breeze right through all of this.
Yeah, yeah. I pray I'm right.
Keep me
Well,
posted.
yeah, yeah. I think all of Canada hopes that prediction's right. Well, my dear, I see the clock, and there's. I could talk to you all day about this stuff, Susan. I really could.
This
Um,
went so fast.
it was incredibly fast, and if I didn't have another client right after this, I'd stay on and talk more because there's a lot to cover in these next 3 months, and so I'm very curious when it comes to April, looking back on this recording, what's going to go down. It just feels different. It just these next 3 months, and it feels different in a good way. It feels like we're finally coming out of it. So hang in there, you guys. We're coming out of it, and we're coming out on top.
We're
So
coming on top. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Oh, my dear.
Okay. Oh,
I
and I'll say quickly, because I always forget to do this. If you want to know what's going on with your sign for the month of March, go to my website, exploreastrology.com. I put out free predictions for every sign. So just look at your sign and find it, and you can see what's going on with you for March.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. And if you haven't already, hit the like button and the subscribe button because it helps people be able to see these videos and it gets the word out there. I know nothing about algorithms, so if you guys do, hit the like button and subscribe. That's all I know. And Susan, if everyone wants to get a hold of you, it is Explore Astrology.
Exploreastrology.com. Yeah.
Perfect. And I am patriciamona.com if you're looking for me, or Patricia Monna Intuitive Consulting if you're following me on Facebook. I thank you so much, Susan, for another enlightening chat that went by with lightning speed. So much to say, but yeah, we'll look back on next month and we'll regroup and we'll take notes and we'll
Yeah.
compare notes.
We'll
So,
look forward next month. This has been so much fun.
yeah, it really has.
Okay.
Well, thank you. And thank you, everybody out in YouTube land for watching, and for liking and subscribing. Thank you. We will see you next month, Susan.
Okay. Have
God
a great
bless.
March.
We'll see you in
Bye.
April. Take care.